Do you find yourself giving your child consequences that are absolutely outrageous and then find yourself having to go back on what you said? I'm here to help you avoid getting into that situation. My name's Richard and welcome to Richard Ball Consultancy, the channel that helps parents be better. When dealing with stressful or difficult situations, it's easy to get lost in a wave of emotions from frustration to irritation, maybe even helplessness or despair. This might leave you giving consequences that you later on regret. The problem with this is when our children see us going back on what we say and being inconsistent, it opens the doors to greater complications in the future. If what you say doesn't necessarily mean anything, then over time your child will be more likely to push boundaries with you, hedging bets as to whether you'll stick to what you say or not. I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about. A child makes a choice that triggers an emotional reaction. This could be physical aggression towards you or a family member, or maybe perhaps rudeness or disrespect. With that emotion comes a knee-jerk response from you that is disproportionate for what's just taken place. Okay, so they may have kicked you, or they may have said they hate you because they couldn't watch their favorite TV program. But that might have you responding by saying things like, "Right, that's it, no TV for a year." Yeah, I've heard worse. When things calm down after a day or so, or maybe even a week, you may have forgotten the incident completely. Or you might perhaps just start feeling guilty about the decision you made. Especially if your child's going around showing acts of kindness and being helpful towards you and other family members. Initially, depending on how hardened you are, you might think this is a ploy for you to give in and give them back their TV. The reality is, whether it's at day 1, month 1, or month 5, depending on how stubborn you are, you're going to eventually think that maybe taking away TV for a whole year might have been a little harsh. Eventually, you'll back down and give that child back their TV before you said you would. This is a major point from a child's perspective because they've just seen you being inconsistent. Depending on how many times a day, week, or month you do this, the child's going to build a picture and realize that not everything is set in stone. And there's a certain level of gambling they can take with you, whether that's 50-50 or phone a friend. So how do you avoid falling into the trap of giving consequences that you later on regret? Most importantly, try to be aware of your own emotions and feelings. They heavily influence what you do and say when you're not paying attention. Think of the last time that you may have witnessed road rage. You might have been in it yourself. If you're emotionally fueled, chances are you're going to tap into those receptors in the brain that make you want to fight or flee, depending on their size. If you can avoid reacting at these times, you can reduce making decisions that you later regret, causing you to be inconsistent. If you're constantly being wound up by your child, you need to avoid making an immediate decision on a consequence. It's fine to say to your child there will be a consequence. You just don't need to say what that consequence is straight away. As parents, we feel that we need to have the answers for everything straight away while we're walking on tightropes and spinning plates at the same time. It's okay not to know the answer immediately, and you can even share this with your child and say something like, "No, I haven't thought of a consequence yet, but I'll let you know when I have." Obviously, I wouldn't leave it for a couple of days, but to leave it for a couple of hours, I think that's fair. But what it will do is it will stop that crucial knee-jerk reaction that you have that puts you in that place of being inconsistent. In my role as a learning mentor working in schools, there were countless situations and scenarios that were all similar but unique in their own way. Sometimes the answer wasn't always straightforward and I needed to either investigate or have a little bit of thought on the whole thing to come up with a consequence that was fair. If I still wasn't sure and I was struggling to come up with a decision, I could always lean on colleagues to get their opinion. You can do the same at home and you can ask family members or friends for their advice. By using this simple strategy, you extend the time between the event and your heightened emotions, giving you the opportunity to just calm down and process what's just happened. If the behaviour has impacted you directly, and maybe they've kicked you or they've said something hurtful towards you, you can also model having a timeout for yourself. It's not only good for them to see you knowing how to self-regulate, but when they need it, it's easier to offer to them. So the next time you find yourself getting wound up by your child's behaviour, take note of the way it's making you feel, delay your response, and get some advice from other adults if you need it. Then you'll find that over time, what you say is what you actually mean, without the need to feel guilty or retract the decision you've made. I hope you found this video useful, and I hope you can put that tip to good use. Also, if you have a friend that's struggling in this department, don't keep it to yourself. Share this video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up or down, subscribe, and comment if there are other subjects you'd like to hear about. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Until then, bye for now.